Boy, you can put your hats on. Watch out for the honkers.
All right, George, you ready? All righty, we're going to get started. It's a bit after 6:30. I'd like to welcome everyone to the July ZBA meeting. Noreen, would you like to do roll call, please?
Kevin Scully,
Here.
Chip Postiglione,
Here.
Steve Thaw is absent this evening, John Seeley,
Here.
and Zach Murphy.
Here.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
One of these days.
And
we're
I'm
gonna
so
say it.
happy we got the name spelt right. Please, let's rise for the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And please make note of the fire exits behind you and then on either side of the desk up here. All righty. First up, public hearing for Zimmerman, Dry Hill Lake Road. Come on up. No, thank you. Just state your names, please.
Good evening, Chairman Postiglione. My name is Daniel Richmond. I'm a partner with the law firm Zarian Steinmetz, 81 Main Street, Suite 415, White Plains, New York.
And my name is Michael Morgante. I'm the project engineer for this application.
Thanks, guys.
Were we scheduled for a hearing tonight?
Yes, tonight's
Right, so we-
public hearing.
So I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to open this public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, who seconded that?
John Seeley. All right, guys. You want to give us a little recap of the project as we spoke last month?
Sure, Mr. Chair. As you will recall, the applicant seeks relief from conditions imposed in connection with a variance that your board granted in connection with a three-lot subdivision by resolution dated September 13th, 2000, from the requirements of New York Town Law Section 280A. By way of background, the 2000 ZBA resolution granted the variance from Town Law to Section 280A and imposed three conditions, which are as follows: that the applicant widen the entire length of Dry Hill Lake Road to 22.5 feet, that storm drains that exist along Dry Hill Lake Road be lowered and function as storm drains to allow drainage as required, and to resurface Dry Hill Lake Road from the northwest property line of Lot 1, as shown in the subdivision map, through the cul-de-sac terminus at the south end of Dry Hill Lake Road, with 6 inches of compacted item 4. These actions have never been undertaken and do not appear to be required for the public health, safety, and welfare. As Mr. Morgante explained previously and can explain again tonight, he met with the town fire chief to preliminarily discuss potential improvements to Dry Hill Lake Road to facilitate fire safety, and in sum, the chief stated that the fire department has responded to calls on Dry Hill Lake Road with no issues. So from that meeting, we believe that we can address any concerns your board and the community may have. I'd like to hand it over to Mike that can walk you through the project in a little more detail, and then I can go through the 5-factor balancing test under state law.
Sure. So what's before the ZBA outside of the 280A variance is simply a single-family residential site plan that's shown on the maps. If you take a look at the grading and utility plan on sheet number 4 and the site plan on sheet number 3, you'll see the extent of the project. The project will be served by municipal water and sewer. Both utilities are available at the site. We will need to apply to Orange County Department of Environmental Facilities for a sewer permit when it becomes the right time to do so. We do know there's adequate water over there to serve this minor project that stands before the board. The wetlands have been located. We've shown all kinds of site features on the map. We've been working with the planning board to develop plans for the development of the site, and we've reached the point where we need to come before this board for this consideration of relief from the ZBA regarding the 280A variance. So Mr. Richmond did a good job explaining kind of what the legal part of this is, and my job at this point is only to pretty much explain what's being proposed on the site. I would note that we would look to extend the pavement at least through the frontage of the property along the portion of the actual residence itself. I did,
I'm
again...
sorry, could you repeat that last bit? There's a
Sure, if you
little
take a-
bit of an echo with, in here.
Yeah, sure. If you take a look at the site plan or the grading plan, you'll see that there's a small extension we're proposing of Dry Hill Lake Road to be paved that's along our frontage, essentially the frontage of the building that we're proposing. I would note that I did visit the site again this morning in lieu of the fact that we've had some significant rain events. What I thought was actually one of the potholes, we had mentioned that Fire Chief had discussed filling in 2 potholes as a part of one of the requirements he was looking for when we met out there. Turns out one of those potholes is actually a sewer manhole. Must have been overlain by some gravel and dirt. It was more visible today. That sewer manhole will need to be adjusted, probably raised to grade and patched around it. There is another pothole that's near the intersection of Dry Hill Lake Road and Orchard Lake Drive, which we're glad to repair.
So as I was going through this project a couple of weeks ago and then today quite a bit, the original three lot subdivision back, was it 2000 or 2003 or 1990?
It was around 2000, I believe, that maybe.
Right, so the 3 lot subdivision, do I have this right? Was it 14.1, 14.21, and then 14.22? Is that what we're thinking about as the 3 lot subdivision? Just so I have clarifications.
I believe it's 14.22, 14.21, and potentially 14.1. If those are the numbers you just...
So that was the 3 lot subdivision that from the builder and going back to the resolution of 2000 by the ZBA with the 3 stipulations as the lawyer went over to widen the road, storm drains, and to resurface the road. So are we talking about that 3 lot subdivision, that was supposed to happen during that subdivision? The 3 stipulations?
Yes.
Yes.
That was, and it never happened.
To our knowledge, it doesn't appear it was ever
Right,
done.
it didn't happen. So, thanks for clearing that up. So, I walked this property a lot since last month. And I was talking to some people, neighbors. I'm just looking at some of my notes here, that's why I'm looking down. So, none of the 3 stipulations happened, conditions happened, which boggles my mind, and I don't know how that could have went. But the road is a private road. It went up for auction, and one of the owner's homes, lots there, owns the road. So the road is owned by that gentleman, and the community, snow removal or whatever happens, it happens, and this gentleman sends out an invoice, and that's how they handle this. Dave, oh, I don't even know why I'm asking you, because I'm just setting myself up for punishment here. How could those conditions not have been taken care of?
I would suspect but don't know that it's just an enforcement issue. It might be something that fell through the cracks, it wasn't enforced, unless anybody has any other, maybe the applicant knows.
You guys will have your chance here. We'll get to public comments in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, if we knew, we would tell you, maybe as
Yeah.
part of the public hearing tonight, maybe someone in the public has
Yeah.
that information and could
But you
possibly share
don't,
that with
yeah.
us. Because at this point, all of the investigative work we've done, we can't determine why none of this work was completed.
And our understanding is that we conveyed previously, and I can explain again this evening, is
Talk to the mic,
Sorry.
please.
And our understanding, again, as I'll explain previously, we'll explain again this evening, is that it would be infeasible to widen the road at this point because it would involve using some of the neighbors' property. We understand the neighbors are not interested in cooperating with that. Maybe we'll hear differently tonight.
Hearing none,
Now,
go ahead.
there was no drainage on the road that I saw. 'Cause I think,
On your mic.
The applicant will widen the entire length of Dry Hill Lake Road to a width of 22.5 feet. Two, the storm drains that exist along Dry Hill Lake Road will be lowered below grade and function as storm drains to allow drainage as required. And three, resurface Dry Hill Lake Road from the northwest property line of Lot 1 as shown on the subdivision map through the cul-de-sac terminus of the southeast end of Dry Hill Lake Road with 6 inches of compacted item 4. So,
I didn't see any.
I would note one thing. I mean, pavement was extended to the beginning of the cul-de-sac from Lot 1. That had to have happened.
So
Because
from
that
what-
says from Lot 1.
yeah, but from what I heard is, and we're going to get to this. From what I heard is that the homeowners paved the road at their expense.
Okay.
Right? That wasn't anything that was done by the builder. These are some of the stories and comments I was getting as I was walking it. So, yeah, I don't, Kevin, number 2, storm drains that exist, should be below grade.
I didn't see any.
Because I don't think it happened.
Yeah.
Again, I'm looking forward to public input on this, to get some more information. However, in the times I've been to the site, what I've noticed appears to be, I guess if you're turning into the road going up, just to give a perspective of the direction, on the right-hand side, there appears to be some swales with some culverts that cross underneath the driveways. That swale is heavily laden with leaves and other deleterious material. On the left-hand side, there appears to be an asphalt curb,
Yeah,
little
bump,
small
little
asphalt
bump.
curb that
Right.
runs pretty much the length, runs over respective driveways. My guess would be so that stormwater doesn't, or at least it helps to prevent the runoff of stormwater into those particular
No,
lots.
and that's what I saw, but that just goes in my observation, and I could be wrong, because I'm wrong a lot, is that just goes to show that the drainage wasn't put below grade, as in condition number 2. But I might be wrong. I looked,
I think they're referring to like catch basins.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
so,
And to be clear, I just want to be clear, I know your board's aware, but I want to be clear, the public knows that our client has no relationship to the original developer.
no, I get it, but
I know you get it.
you're asking for part of your, unless I'm wrong again, part of what you're looking for is relief from those conditions.
Yes, sir.
Right.
But I'm just saying if
No,
anyone's
I
gonna point
get
the
it.
finger
I know what
at
you're
the
saying.
developer, I just want to say that.
No, I get it. All right, so it's 14.1, 14.21, and 14.22. So that answers that question that I had there. Thank you.
I just had a quick question on the ownership of the road itself. Is that a separate lot? Is the road considered a separate lot? Do each of the lots own to the center of the road? Or what is the situation with the current situation with ownership of that road?
From what I know, a certain, and hopefully we'll find out more in the public hearing, is that a certain lot, and I'm going to screw up the name, it might be John C., who purchased the road in auction from unpaid taxes. Those are some of the notes I have, but hopefully we'll hear more in a public hearing.
Okay.
All right, which led me to another question I had is, so that's a truly a private road, right? So, but that's what they're seeking the 280A and relief of the three conditions, right? And the 280A will, because it's not a public road, right?
Right. I think the board, back in 2000 or whenever it was, they granted the 280A on those three conditions.
Correct.
And they're saying, okay, we've got the 280A, we'd like that to continue, but we want to remove the three conditions.
Right, but the 280A was for the three-lot subdivision, 14.1, 14.21, and 14.22, right?
And this is one of those lots, right?
Right. Okay. Is there anyone in the public here that would like to get up and shed some light or bring any comment? When you do come up, just step up to the podium and get close to the mic. State your name, please.
I'm John C. I own DHL, the road. Yeah.
Excuse me?
I own the road.
Okay,
Yeah, there is drainage down on the right, left-hand side.
okay.
They
Left
did-
hand as you're going up the road?
Correct.
Spit the mic till you stand in front
I
of the
don't
mic.
even know if it's on. Is it on? Yeah. When those lots were built, the guy did make improvements on the road. He didn't pave it, he widened it, and then built those culverts on the side, and then put drainage down on the bottom there, okay? Then, as the years went by, we all chipped in and had the road paved. And then it went up for auction, and I purchased the road to take care of the road. That's the story.
Okay,
Yeah. And we take care of it, I take care of it, I pay the taxes on it.
right.
Yeah.
So when the people on the street paved the road, or you paved the road, you paved the road once you owned it?
No, it was before I owned it, then I.
So you all chipped in to pay it?
Yeah, we
So-
all chipped in.
So then, as far as those three conditions, the road was widened?
It was widened, I don't know if it made to the specs that were supposed to be widened, I don't
Right.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, but it never came about, no one ever said anything, so we paved it exactly the length that they made it.
Right.
Yeah, and there is drainage, there's
Okay.
those culverts. Are they filled with stuff? I'm sure they are. But there is a drain down on the left-hand side. It's probably about, where the mailboxes are?
Yep.
Okay, come in about 10 feet on the left-hand side, there's one.
Okay.
I don't know, there might be more up top, but I know there's one there.
Up top, meaning by,
Up
Up
on the hill.
the
I don't
end?
know, I think those are just culverts that go down to that drain.
Right.
But there is a drain down.
You say you chipped in to pave the road, just to be clear on my end. Did you pave the road or repave the road?
No, we paved it.
It was dirt
Never
before
paved
that.
It was
I
item 4.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then we came up to a certain section, we did, I actually just redid, item 4 last year on the cul-de-sac.
yeah, the turnaround there
Yeah.
at the end?
Yeah, the plow beats the hell out of it.
Right.
Approximately what year was that?
When it was
The
paved,
paving? Approximately.
10 years ago, maybe more? I'm not really sure, it was a while.
So, but after this,
What's that?
after 2001?
Oh, yeah,
Okay, I just want to be clear about
Yeah.
that on my end.
yeah, well, it wasn't when that was, it was after that.
Do you recall or does anyone recall during or after the subdivision, not allowing the builder at the time? What was his name, Noreen?
He built 3 lots there.
What was,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys recall not giving him permission or
Absolutely.
allowing him to widen the road?
No. Yeah, I think he had to. Yeah. I don't know how we would stop that if he had to do it. I didn't own the road at that time. Right now, I'll stop people from doing it. Not then, so. And the reason I made it private is I like it private. Yeah, I don't want it becoming heavy traffic. Yeah.
All righty, thank you.
You're welcome. I don't know if you have my number. You guys need to
Excuse
talk.
me?
I don't know if you have my number, a way to contact me. If you need to speak to me, you can contact me.
Yep, no, I got it.
Okay?
Yep, thanks. Anybody else? Anyone else have concerns or comments they'd like to, sure, come on up. When you get up, please just state your name and talk into the mic, please.
Georgette Coates. I'm trying to.
I'm sorry, what your name is?
Georgette Coates.
Okay.
I'm trying to understand where Dry Hill Lake road actually stops. I live at the top of Orchard Drive, so I know it starts down there at the bottom, but it's considered like a paper road across from me. So I don't know if this gentleman owns it all the way to the top by me. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
So you know where it's,
All the way to the top of Orchard Drive? You do? Okay, so that's.
okay, please speak
You
into
have
the
to
mic.
talk to the mic.
So yeah, he owns that all the way to the top, which is, it stops across from my house. And so that's basically all wooded, growing in. There's no road there. I mean, it's just woods all the way down
Yeah.
until, his cul-de-sac area.
Well, at one point, that paper road or dirt road used to go all the way through.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Used to
I
go all
know.
the way through
Yep,
there.
Yep, yep. People
So,
used to walk down that road to get their mail back
right.
50, 60 years ago.
Right, and
Yeah.
since then,
Just grown up.
it's just grown in,
Right.
from what I've seen.
I'm trying to understand, where are the homes going to be developed? Is that what it is? I don't even know.
There was a 3-lot subdivision. Could you guys have a map there that you could show her or point it out?
I can step up.
Yeah, get up there and point it out. And right now, we're talking about one lot, 14.22, that includes the lake, and that's what's in question here. That's a person would like to build a home there.
Well,
Need to be on the,
I remember at one point, this goes back a while, somebody wanted to build there, but they couldn't because they wanted to build a bridge across the lake, they wanted to do this, do that, and they wouldn't let them. I think environmentally, they didn't want them, to be able to do that, and there was like no way in and only one way out. It was just like one road or something. I don't remember, but environmentally, I remember that they didn't want to allow them to do that for that reason. And because there was timber rattlers over there also, so I think that was another concern that I remember, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, when
Yeah.
that might have happened.
Yeah.
He'll show you here.
So the original subdivision is where I'm showing the pointer going around. So 14.1, 2.1, and 2.22. Just so you get an understanding of what the original subdivision was. So from here all the way around, 14.1, 14.21, 14.22. We're developing only
Around the lake.
14.22.
yeah, and Mr. Chair, I just want to be clear for the record, we're only talking about building one single-family
Right.
home.
And
We have no plans to
it's
cross
just
the
one
lake.
single-family home.
Understood. Did I say anything different?
No, I just
I think
wanted
she
I
was-
think,
she was
I think I
asking.
clarified that to
Yeah.
her.
Okay.
I said it's just one home, and I specified the lot.
So in the future, there'll be no more other development, there's just one home there?
Not from us.
That's it, that'll be it, just that one home?
Correct.
Okay,
In the future, I don't know, but we're only talking about this one lot right now, so,
okay.
okay?
I got it, thanks.
Come on up. Where's my pen? State your name.
I'm Janice Squires. I live at the bottom of Dry Hill Lake Road.
Excuse me?
I said I live at the bottom of Dry Hill Lake Road.
Okay, your name
Janice
is?
Squires. Squires.
Okay.
Well, I'm a little confused with this whole thing because this is going back several years. Before Mr. C bought the road, there was a whole big to-do about who owned the road. This is going back many, many, many years. As far as the development went, before they moved in, the person that was building it, the developer, he was responsible for those 3 lots. And from what I understood, nobody could get access to loans on those houses until he met all the specifications of the road. It had to be paved, it had to have the culvert, it had to have the proper drainage. That was all part of that development. That's the way I understood it. So 2 houses were built. The 3rd house never got built. I don't know whether the contractor, whomever, if they went out of business, but that was never developed. It does butt up against Shea Lake. I don't understand what happens with runoff. Is it going to interfere with that lake? There is a dam there for the runoff. When it's really bad out, that water flows right down to 17. And there's lots of times it's flooded. I don't understand how any of this is going to benefit us. Mr. C went through the effort of buying the road. He does maintain it by getting it plowed. It was supposed to have been widened back with the original developer. It was supposed to have the proper drainage. It never did. The drainage on my side of the road, which is the right-hand side, the pipes were put in above ground.
Right-hand side,
Up the hill.
going up the hill, you're on the right?
Orchard, going up. I'm on the right. Those drain pipes were put in above ground, which was absurd. Eventually they came back, they were lowered. The grates are above ground. It makes no sense. It's now all grown over. None of it works. Whenever it rains, it floods. Somebody needs to check it. And I'm not saying Mr. C is wrong. He did everything he could. But apparently this has got to go back to the original developer who was supposed to take care of the road properly, and it never got done. The development never went through. And again, what happens with Shea Lake, with the runoff? That's my concern.
You're on the right hand, first house, so you're catching all the drainage coming down.
Absolutely.
Right. And Shea Lake is actually part of this lot? Is that correct?
Butts up with it, doesn't it?
Shea Lake is part of this?
It is.
Right.
And I could also add that as a part of the deed, the owner of this particular lot is solely responsible for the maintenance of that dam. So right now there is an owner, but there's no house. I don't know who the owner was before this, but at least you'll have somebody now who's an occupant of that particular property that, by deed has to actually be responsible for the maintenance of that particular dam and spillway.
I think we had a project in front of us not too long ago where the EPA was questioning and asking for work done to that dam. I don't know if it was Trey Angeline. Remember when that came into question? There was.
I don't remember there being
so-
dam work on.
Excuse
work-
me?
I don't remember if there was work done on the dam.
No, I don't think anything
know
was
there was water
done.
damage.
They were saying that work had to be done
Yes.
and maintain some. I don't have it in front of me.
We discussed this at our previous meeting.
Nothing was ever done with that lake. Because many years ago, when we had that hurricane, that major flood that destroyed part of Monroe, people were being taken out of their houses on rowboats. That lake literally overflowed. Our road was washing away. That was before it was even paved. As far as I know, nothing has ever been done with that lake and that drainage, that dam or whatever they want to call it, the runoff. But again, that original builder was the one who was supposed to be responsible for doing the road properly, maintaining that road. That never happened. And like I said, there was a big to-do trying to find out who owned that footage, that road. And then Mr. C came along, fortunately, at auction, and it's considered a lot. It's not a road. So he bought it, maintained it, plowing and so forth, but it should not have ever been his responsibility.
Yeah,
There's a lot of questions.
I don't disagree with you, and that's how I open this meeting with those questions. I turn to the lawyer and say, how was this not done? Right, when it was 3 conditions that the variance was given. Now, I don't have a question for you. The original builder's out of it.
Yeah.
Mr. C, I guess, is the owner of the road now.
Correct.
So it's,
And it's, like I said, he's been responsible, or not responsible, but he's been maintaining it.
stay on the mic, please.
He's been maintaining it. I give him that. He did buy it. The problem is, it should not have fallen on him. It shouldn't have fallen on all the rest of the homeowners. But it's not clarifying who's going to be responsible, the new developer, and what happens with Shea Lake, and how's that going to affect us? That's basically my situation at this point.
And
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Thank you.
Talk on the mic, please.
I'm sorry, I just want to talk to him directly. I appreciate his taking the effort of buying that parcel, and it's listed as a parcel, it's never listed as a road. And that was where the tax problems came in, because they couldn't figure out who owned it originally. And somehow he managed to get in on the auction. So there's a lot of questions, and I'm not faulting any of the owners on the road, just this development coming in. So that's my
Thank you.
comments.
Appreciate it.
If we could
Yeah,
just
you can.
Just very briefly, again, it's one single-family house that, as Mike pointed out, would be there to contribute to road maintenance with the rest of the community and help it out that way. Any, environmental issues, are obviously we're going to need to go back before the planning board. So, we'll certainly be addressing them there. But certainly, we're going to have to work with DEC on any wetland issues, as Mike pointed out, as well as the planning board.
I duly noted, the DEC, like we discussed, the first meeting with that dam and whatnot, that's not what's in front of us here at this meeting, right? What's in front of us at this meeting is granting the variance of the 280A and on the 3 conditions to give a pass, for lack of better words.
Just to clarify, and I think Dave pointed this out earlier, that the 280A has already been granted.
Right.
We're just asking for the 3 conditions. Yes, what I was just reiterating was, I think, as I understood the ZBA council, and I was agreeing with him, that the 280A variance was already granted, and we're here to lift conditions, to seek relief from conditions that were imposed in connection with that variance grant.
Right, and that was back, in 2000?
Yes, sir.
Is there a time limit on that, Counselor?
No, those conditions don't expire. That's why the applicant is here.
Right.
And was there a time period in which those should have been done? I don't remember seeing, that in there, but they were supposed to be conditions to the development of the 3 lots. I mean, I think they were granted in that connection, with that connection, and it should have been done prior to or in conjunction with the development. And it wasn't, so now, in order to develop this one, the applicant has been told, I think appropriately, by the building department that you can't build until those conditions, which remain in place, are satisfied.
Well, according to Ben's letter, right, if you look at Ben's letter, he's asking for 3 items. Right?
Yes and no. Like, he's asking for, in this March 22 letter.
Right, of this year.
Right.
He's
multiple items, right, so, you're right, let me read that.
Yeah, I've only read it 10 freaking times today.
Yeah, so, it's interesting, like, in Ben's letter of March 2024, the first one says, the required building permit could not be issued for the following reason. The 280A of town law requires public road frontage on an improved town road. Your lot does not front on any improved town road. So the way I interpret what Ben's saying is your 280A variance is not, it's not good, it's not effective because you haven't satisfied the three conditions that are attached to it. I think that's how, that's a read. And so he's saying, look, until you satisfy those three conditions, you don't have your 280A variance. So I don't know if it's semantics or not, but either way, the applicant right now can't build until he gets through this, whether we're saying he needs a new 280A variance without those conditions, or has the 280A variance and doing away with the conditions. It's effectively the same thing, I think. Bottom line is the applicant is here asking to be able to build without having to satisfy the three conditions previously imposed. And those are, one, there was a requirement that the developer widen all of Dry Hill to a width of 22.5 feet. The second one was that the applicant had to lower all of the storm drains on Dry Hill. I'm reading from my notes, not verbatim from the item. And number three was required to resurface Dry Hill from the northwest corner of Lot 1 up to the cul-de-sac with 6-inch item 4. So I guess just to refocus, what's the relief and where does all the testimony that you've heard fit in so far?
What about number 3?
Those are, in Ben's letter, those do not come before this board.
That's pretty much for the planning.
Number 2 says you need planning board approval, and number 3 says you need a tree plan. Right. But this board can't give him relief, and he's not asking for relief from the requirement to give a tree plan.
Right.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
So what I think the issue is before the board is, applying the balancing test as you would with any area variance, because the area variance standards apply to requests for relief from Town Law Section 280A. Those criteria are imported into this issue of a 280A variance. And so what I think you need to be focused on is the conditions, the impact.
The three conditions.
The three conditions and how the absence of those conditions, if you were to grant them the relief that they seek, right, that's the benefit that they're seeking. You have to weigh the benefit that they're seeking, which is to not implement those three conditions, against the detriment, if any, that you find would occur by the contrary.
But now you throw the curveball in that someone owns the road now, right? So it's not a public road. So you got relief from these three conditions. It's not a public road. Mr. C owns the road. So, and obviously, and this is not a knock on anyone in the public, right? So just hear me out. So the people at the top of the Dry Hill, right, might not be seeing the poor drainage as the people on the bottom of it. Right? Shit runs downhill. Correct? Excuse me. So now if we here as a board are trying to weigh those three conditions, how do we do it with a private road or a private lot? Because obviously there's going to have to be permission given from that owner, right? Or
yeah, I think we're at a it's a law school question or a bar exam question, wrapped up in one, where you've got it's sort of a confluence of, you have these 280A requirements, you have the standards for a zoning board to apply to the granting of a variance, area variance is being sought, and you have private property rights that may be in conflict with each other, may not be, between the owner of the road, where someone, a prior board, a zoning board, has required work to be done to a road that is now owned by a private citizen. I've not ever seen this before, I'll be honest with you.
If I could just add, Dave, I think it does, as you know, for the area variance, one of the factors we have to address is feasibility. And I think, as we've discussed previously, the conditions no longer appear feasible to implement. So I think that actually goes to the merits of the application before your board, at the point that the chair is raising. And I would also point out, David, it's the zoning
And the
board.
mic.
Sorry, the zoning board has, can grant it an area variance, pursuant to the normal five-factor balancing test, and also if the circumstances, is a completely different standard under town law 280A, an exception if the circumstances of the case do not require the structure to be related to the existing or proposed streets or highways. So I think it's either one, but I think the five-factor test.
I'm not, we know the five-factor.
No, but I'm just explaining.
Listen, the five-factor test is, I'm talking to you, don't look at Dave, right? The five-factor test will be something that we'll go over
Yes, sir.
afterwards. We're not even at that point right now, but the comment that you made that the conditions don't seem feasible, they might not, but they might be, right? There'd have to be a little cooperation from people there. So it's still I'm not ready to say that it doesn't seem feasible or it does seem feasible. I think that has to be explored for the people that are living there that are on the down end of that, say, drainage part of it. I don't know, but we're not there yet to say it's not feasible or it is feasible, in my opinion.
Mr. Chair, could I add to the feasibility part of that?
Sure.
So traveling up the road, on the right-hand side, again, you have a fairly large, deep drainage ditch, which seems to capture most of the runoff from the entire road. If we were to widen the road, we'd potentially be paving over that ditch. Not to mention that some of the driveways in that location, right, start at the road level and then have pretty steep slopes going up to their residences. So
Don't disagree with whatever you're saying, right? I do not disagree. But what I will say is by some of the comments here and watching some of this road when it is raining, I don't think that drainage is catching it. That's the only issue I have, right? And so we have a public forum here, and this is open to the public to hear their concerns, and they're living on the road. And so from what I've seen, and I think, Zach, you've seen the same thing, Zach lives close by where he's able to watch it when the rain's coming, or just some of the testimony that we've heard here tonight. I don't know if the drainage is working.
Sure.
And you're right, probably can't be widened. And condition three is almost a moot point because condition 3 says resurface Dry Hill Lake Road from the northwest corner, blah, 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 with 6 inches of item number 4, compacted number, right? You're not, that's a moot point because it's blacktop,
we have pavement, correct.
right? So really what we're talking about is drainage.
And what I might suggest that is a possibility, again, that drainage ditch on the right-hand side is very overgrown, has a lot of leaves in it, has a lot of vegetation. The culverts seem to be plugged in some cases. I don't think this applicant would probably take any exception to cleaning that out, reshaping that ditch, opening up the culverts to make sure that drainage is flowing properly. That would be a very reasonable and appropriate condition that the board could consider.
At this point, we probably have to get permission from the owner of the road.
Sure.
Right? So this is going back to the complexity of this, because if this was, I'll tell you right now, if this was the original builder in front of us talking about this, developing this third lot, I'm pretty sure the board would be, I'd be like, get the heck out of here, take care of the 3 conditions first, and then we'll talk. It'd be that simple, but it's not that simple right now. And so the 3 conditions, that's the only thing that we can look at here, is really the only thing is, unless Zach or anyone on this board sees it differently, is the drainage, because it's paved, and maybe part of the condition, they can fix up spots, on that road with permission from the owner. And I don't think widening it's going to happen because the owner says he doesn't want it widened. So what we're talking about is drainage. And I agree. If you can get it cleaned out and we can see what's happening there, but again, we would need permission. Or you would need permission.
And one other note, I mean, maybe one of the reasons why this work didn't happen, as we're keep, discussing this matter, is because of the difficulty in actually constructing it. It may be one of the reasons why it just never happened. Again, building or widening the road to the right-hand side of the road would be very difficult because of the steepness of the driveways. Widening the road to the left-hand side would encroach in people's front yards. So it may not, this might have been something on a piece of paper that made sense back in 2000, and then when we went to try to go and build it, it might not have made any sense.
Yeah, we're just guessing right now,
We are
right?
guessing.
We're just guessing,
Yes.
and you know what? I'm not saying it's the builder's fault. It's like Dave said, it's enforcement. Somewhere along the line, the town had to go and check and see if this was enforced. But that didn't happen. Here we are.
Have you had any discussions with the town engineer on any of the drainage, anything like that?
No. The last planning board meeting that we were at, I had tried to schedule a site visit with Sean Arnott, who was the planning board engineer at that time. And I think he since resigned from MHE Engineering and took another job elsewhere. So that was where that was left off. So I took it upon myself to do the site visits, meet with the fire chief, do the investigative work, and figure out what's going on.
I mean, what we are asking the board to do this evening, which I think it could do, so the planning board declared its intent to be lead agency and circulated notice of intent. I know before the zoning board could act, the planning board would need to conclude the secret process. But if we're referred back to the zoning board, to the planning board for that, certainly we could, I don't know who the new town engineer is or who's certainly.
Yeah, Matt Sickler's a new planning board engineer, and I have a good relationship with him, and I'm sure I could set up a site visit with him, and we could go out there and walk the site and further investigate.
I mean, so it seems appropriate. I think, Mr. Chairman, you sort of narrowed the issues down really nicely with the three conditions. The main one that is potentially feasible, again, not ruling anything else out, but the main one that seems potentially feasible is the drainage. This board cannot act one way or the other until the secret process is complete, and the planning board is going to be lead agency, and they're going to be looking at those issues. I think it would be reasonable to keep this hearing open. I mean, I think it's required to keep the hearing open right now, at the very least. And then let the applicant get to the next meeting before the planning board and have at least some initial discussions with the town engineer on the same topics that we're discussing. And again, we can't force it, but sometimes discussions happen between applicants and objecting neighbors as well.
Yeah, I mean, if Mr. C would give us his contact information.
Speak to the mic, please.
If Mr. C would give us contact information, we'd certainly love to reach out to him, coordinate, potential drainage improvements and whatever else our client, who's just building a single-family home, could do to become a welcome member of this community.
Yeah, so I think putting this over a month, if the applicant thinks a month is enough, or 2 months, to allow some of this stuff to occur, and then have the hearing back here again on some future date, seems most appropriate right now.
We would take that serious, and I would actually request maybe if they could put it over till October, because we believe the planning board's certainly, taking this seriously as well. And we want to give them whatever information they need so that everyone's comfortable with what we're doing.
It gives us enough time to tie things up with the planning board so that they might feel comfortable looking at a negative declaration, so that when we come back to this board, I don't want to rush the planning board in a decision. So I think that gives us adequate time.
Mr. C, could you come up here a second, please? You see what we've been talking about here and what we're trying to do here as a board. Listen to everyone on your road and watch it. Would it be okay with you if you worked with these gentlemen to look at the drainage and to see, would that be something that you would be open to having a discussion or showing them?
As
No
long as
promises,
Nothing happens without my approval.
Of course.
Nothing. It's my property.
That's why
I
we're,
don't want it touched.
that's why we're talking to you.
Yeah.
We're talking.
That's why we brought you up.
Can I clarify something before about the lake back there? That lake never flows down that road. When it goes over 17 on the bottom, the real issue there isn't even the dam. That lake never overflows. I've been there for 32 years. What it is, if you follow the stream that comes out of the lake to 17, that culvert is too small. So when there is a lot amount of water coming through that dam and hits that culvert, that's where the issue lies. That lake never comes up that high to go down the road.
That's good.
I don't disagree. That's
Right.
not what's in front of us. I was born and raised
Okay.
on 7 Orchard Drive,
Oh, okay.
No,
right?
Oh, you
So
know.
I know it. I
Yeah.
know it well. I fished it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 64 years old, right? So
Right.
I've been there a long time.
Yep.
So alls I'm asking right now is, because nothing happens, just what you said, is it, you know, if these gentlemen reach out to you and try to look at the drainage, because there's some people on Dry Hill Lake Road that are experiencing terrible drainage down at the end, and if it floods, is that something you would be open to, just to?
I'll discuss, but like I
Yes.
said, nothing can be touched without my approval.
we would,
Otherwise, there will be problems.
we would,
This will be the least of it.
we would make sure that we would document corrective measures, put it on a plan. We could even have it, you know, Mr. C sign off on it, and then the town could certainly enforce it to the T during construction. I do find his input on the culvert and the dam useful, so I'd like to continue that conversation
Yeah,
with him,
that's-
because it helps me as an engineer
Yeah.
to understand what the issues are with the site, so that we can take care of not just the road, but the dam possibly at the same time.
It's pretty obvious what the issues are from that dam down to past the cycle shop and all.
Yeah,
what
it washes
used
out
to
onto
be the cycle
17M,
shop.
if I'm not mistaken.
Excuse me?
There's a washout on the 17M at sometimes, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
I've
that
seen
used to
that.
go
That
and,
washout,
used
yeah.
to go and flood out the old hedges. It used to be a supply, a landscape supply over there, where the Monroe Ford is now, or
Right.
where the Monroe Ford used to be. So, yeah, it's pretty obvious, as you'll see it, but yes, as long as he'll work with you, you know, that's up to you guys, that's out of our hands.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'd like to,
Speak to the mic, please, so.
Yes, sir. I think, you know, look, Mike is a very qualified engineer, I know you know, and I think he can make some suggestions that
Yep.
I think, you know, would improve the road for the wider community.
Yeah, no,
I would suggest one thing further. When I walk the site with the planning board engineer, it would probably be good if we can set up the site visit with Mr. C at the same time.
yeah,
He
as
can
long
walk
as
with
he's
us.
willing to work with.
I would like the back of my hand.
This way, he'll save us a lot of time.
Yep.
Trying to figure out where things are. We'll get valuable information from him, and we can also get a, you know, somewhat of a verbal input from him on the corrective measures we want to make, and then we can put that on a piece of paper and make something happen.
Good luck. That's up to you guys,
Yes.
right? That's it.
Can I ask a question, though? That's a
No,
single,
no, you've already asked too much.
that's a single-family home?
What,
What they're planning on building there?
That's a single-family
Oh,
dwelling.
yeah.
yep, that's what's in front of
That can't
us.
be zoned commercial?
No.
No,
Okay.
nope.
No, we're in the SR 15, so whatever the zoning permits. And
And I don't think, we're just showing it, but let me just make sure here. From what we see, we don't have building plans, right? But we just have what's shown here. So, and it's, yeah, proposed building, 4,000 square foot,
But-
single family home.
But we've submitted architectural elevations and floor plans.
Say that again?
We've submitted architectural elevations and floor plans to the planning board.
Yeah.
If you look online, I'm presuming those documents. Okay, so that's what's being
It's a little
proposed,
big for a single-family home there.
but it's what it is.
Yep, no.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's not commercial. Okay? All right, hopefully you guys can work together there. Thank you, Mr. C.
If you want to give Mike your contact information, or...
How do you spell your last?
Any other comments? All right, so,
You should make a motion to adjourn the public
Yeah,
hearing
well,
to
no,
whichever
yeah.
date you choose, and that way it's
and
on the
gonna be-
record when the next
When's
date
the
will be.
October meeting?
That's the one we need to
That's
do.
mine. I'll tell you what. If you want, I'll call you, or I can text you.
Well, when,
Nobody responded to my
well,
email,
when is it on the schedule for? I mean, we could
It
always.
is scheduled for the 28th, so we can't have it that night.
No, that's.
All right, we'll figure that out. All right, I'm going to go ahead and, this public hearing is going to remain open. I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to have this public hearing carried over to the October 28th ZBA meeting.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thanks,
Chairman.
guys. I
Thank you for your
appreciate it.
time tonight, everybody. Have a good
And I
night.
want to thank the community for coming out, and we look forward to working with you.
That's all I see this evening. So I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to adjourn this ZBA meeting of July.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, thanks.